Hey, welcome. Today we're going to dive into something pretty cool. The 4 fundamental skills that are basically the keys to unlocking any language. So let me ask you something. Have you ever really stopped to think about how you learned to speak? I mean, when you were a kid, it just happened, right? It almost feels like magic. But it's not magic at all. It turns out there's a really clear 4-step path our brains follow to build communication right from scratch. And that path is built on what we can call the 4 pillars of language. These are the absolute fundamentals, and what's so cool is that we all learn them in a very specific, universal order. This is the how behind the magic we were just talking about.
And here they are in that exact order. First, as babies, we just listen. That's all we do. Then we start trying to speak. Way later, we go to school and learn to read, and finally, we get the hang of writing. This sequence, listening, speaking, reading, writing, you can call it LSRW. It's the natural journey we all take, and it's what we're going to break down today.
Listening and speaking, we kind of pick those up instinctively. They're the foundation. But reading, that's where things get interesting. It's where we consciously start to learn a whole new layer of the world, turning these weird little symbols on a page into actual meaning in our heads. So let's start our deep dive right there. And this is absolutely crucial to understand. Reading isn't just about being able to sound out the words. I mean, if you can say everything on a page perfectly, but have no idea what it means, you're not really reading, you're just decoding. True reading is all about comprehension, about getting the meaning behind the word. So reading breaks down into 2 basic modes. First, you've got loud reading. This is great for practicing your pronunciation, for checking if you're getting it right, and of course for reading to other people. But then there's silent reading, and that's where the deep learning happens. It's way faster, it's internal, and it's all about you absorbing the information. And it's not just how we read, but why we read. Intensive reading is when you're like a detective, hunting for specific clues. Think about studying for an exam or looking over a contract. You're zeroed in on the details. Extensive reading, on the other hand, is all about pleasure. It's getting lost in a good book or browsing a magazine. Both are super important for building up our knowledge.
All right, so from taking information in, we move to the final piece of the puzzle, writing. And this isn't just scribbling on a page. It's a real craft, a structured way to get our thoughts organized and share them clearly.
So, what is writing really? It's basically the art of taking all those invisible thoughts and messy ideas floating around in your head and turning them into something concrete, something structured that you can actually share with the world. It gives your voice a physical form.
And let's be real, good writing almost never happens in one perfect go. It's a process, a craft. First, you got to brainstorm your ideas and get them organized. Then you just get it down on paper in a first draft. After that comes the most important step, editing, where you clean it up and make it better. And only then do you publish or share that final polished piece.
And just like everything else, we build this skill from the ground up. We start with the absolute basics, like just tracing letters to build that muscle memory. From there, we move to forming actual words, then putting those words into sentences, and eventually building whole paragraphs. It's a step-by-step construction, brick by brick.
Okay, so we've looked at all 4 skills separately. But now we get to the aha moment. This is the simple idea that ties everything together and just makes it all click. Think about it like this. It's literally as simple as breathing. All of communication has 2 parts, an inhale and an exhale. You breathe in information from the world around you, and then you breathe out your own ideas and thoughts in response. Just hold on to that image. And boom, this is how that breathing analogy plays out. Listening and reading, those are our receptive skills. That's the input. That's our inhale, how we absorb the world. Then you have speaking and writing, our productive skills. That's the output. That's our exhale, how we share our own ideas. See? You really can't have one without the other. They're perfectly balanced.
So, now that we have this amazing framework, what do we do with it? How does knowing all this actually make us better, more masterful communicators?
Well, the secret is that these skills don't just exist in their own little boxes. They're all connected in a constant loop. The quality of your input, so what you listen to and what you read, directly impacts the quality of your output, which is what you speak and write. It's simple, really. To be a better writer, you have to be a better reader. They feed each other.
All right, let's do a quick rundown of the big takeaways. First, remember that language has a natural order, LSWR. Second, reading isn't just one thing. We switch up how we do it based on our goal. Third, writing isn't some stroke of genius. It's a step-by-step process. And maybe most importantly, all communication is just this beautiful balance of input and output.
So, I want to leave you with one big question to chew on. In this world we live in now, with AI that can write for us and instant communication everywhere, which of these 4 timeless skills, listening, speaking, reading, or writing, which one do you think is the most vital for our future? That's something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this one.